I know you just started out photography, you just bought your camera and you've been hearing lots about the 50mm lens, and you just want to get your hands on a 50mm f1.8 lens with the sweet bokeh, the low light performance, and the Youngnuo 50mm f1.8 looks very attractive because of its cheap price and is very affordable. And in this video I'm going to show you some of the drawbacks of this lens and why I feel you should just save up your money and get the more expensive Canon 50mm f1.8. The first point is build quality and longevity. The Youngnuo lens feels so plastic and feels so cheap. If you shake the lens, you can actually hear the components of the lens shaking. It's something that I don't enjoy using during a shoot. It feels like something that if it falls, it's going to break and it's not going to be repairable. In comparison to my Canon 50mm f1.8 that has fallen up to 3 times, it fell almost last week. It fell last week, and I will tell you that it still works like a champ. The Canon 50mm lens feels very firm, feels like something that I bought 500k. And the next point is longevity. Something to note about buying lenses is that when you can always swap your camera body, but lenses will always stay with you. Lenses are there for the long run. And after using the Youngnuo 50mm f1.8 lens for some time, I realized that the quality it gave me dropped significantly. And the quality of the pictures, the colors of the pictures, and how sharp the lens was dropped drastically. And I would say my Canon 50mm lens has always been consistent with the quality, regardless of how long I've used it. So that takes me to the next point, sharpness. The reason for buying a 50mm f1.8 lens is to use the f1.8 aperture, and that is not possible with the Youngnuo lens because it's not very sharp. It's not even sharp at 1.8. The pictures literally look blurry when I take them with the 1.8 aperture. For it to get a very sharp image, you need to use from an aperture of f3.5 to get the image very crisp, and that defeats the point of buying a 50mm f1.8 at all. Okay, the last and final point is autofocus, and this is by far the deciding factor for me. The autofocus on the Youngnuo lens for Canon is very slow. Technically, most times I actually end up using the manual focus instead of the autofocus because it's just that slow. I would rather use manual focus than autofocus, even when taking pictures. And this is really sad for a lens that actually gives the option of autofocus. And in comparison to the Canon 50mm f1.8, the autofocus difference is actually light and day. And the worst part of it all is that the Youngnuo 50mm f1.8, when focusing, makes this very annoying sound, like crank. It's very annoying. And my conclusion here is to just save up some couple of dollars and get the Canon 50mm f1.8 instead. But if you know you don't have the money and you seriously need the 50mm lens, the Youngnuo lens is not that bad. I know people that have used it and they have made a lot of money from it, regardless of the downfalls and the hurdles. The most important part is that you create, and if the Youngnuo lens is what will do it for you for the now, get it, but save up to get a better lens. But for me, I would say it's actually quite a pity for you to buy a very expensive camera, saved up a lot to buy an expensive camera, and end up buying a cheap lens on that expensive camera. So that's all for the video. If you're looking forward to getting your first camera, check out this video where I tell you the best budget beginner camera. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.